So you type a web address into your browser, say yahoo.com, and you hit enter. And bam, in less than a second, the page just appears. It feels like magic, right? But it's not. It's this incredibly fast, invisible process powered by a system that's basically the internet's universal translator. So what's really going on in that split second? Well, to figure that out, we have to start with a fundamental language barrier. Okay, to really get what's happening, you have to understand this one core problem. Humans and computers, yeah, they speak two totally different languages. You see, we're all about names. Yahoo.com, super easy for us to remember. But computers on a network? Nope. They couldn't care less about names. They identify each other with a string of numbers called an IP address. For them, it's all about numbers, not words. And right there, that's the big problem. I mean, can you imagine having to remember a unique string of numbers for every single website you visit? It would be impossible, right? This communication gap had to be bridged. We needed a translator to make the internet, actually usable for people. Thankfully, the pioneers of the internet came up with a really elegant solution. They built this amazing system that just works tirelessly in the background, acting as the perfect go-between for our world of names and the computer's world of numbers. And that solution? It's called the Domain Names System, or DNS for short. Its main job, its whole purpose, is to resolve or, translate the domain names we type into the IP addresses that computers actually need to connect. Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around it is this. DNS is the phone book for the entire internet. It's that simple. You want to call someone, you look up their name to get their number. Well, DNS does the exact same thing, but for websites. It looks up a site's name to find its numerical IP address. So, when your computer needs to find that number, it kicks off this lightning-fast journey. It's kind of like a grand tour across the internet to hunt down the answer. Think of it as a multi-step quest for information. And this quest follows a pretty clear four-step path. It's basically climbing a ladder of servers to find the one that has the definitive answer. The whole thing kicks off with a simple question to, let's call it, a local librarian. Your computer's first stop is something called a resolver server. This is usually run by your internet service provider, your ISP. In this resolver, it really is like a helpful librarian. The first thing it does is check its own memory, its cache, to see if it's been asked for this address recently. If it has the answer, awesome, we're done. But if not, well, that's when the real journey begins. But the resolver doesn't just give up, no way. If the answer isn't in its local memory, it escalates the question. It sends the query all the way to the top of the internet's food chain, to a machine known as a root server. And get this system is built to be incredibly tough. We're not talking about just one or two of these things. There are 13 time sets of these root servers, run by 12 different organizations, and they're spread out all over the globe. They literally form the unshakable foundation of the internet's address book. Now here's the key thing to get. The root server doesn't actually know the IP address for yahoo.com itself. It doesn't have to. Its job is just to be the master index. It just looks at the end of the address, that .com part, and tells the resolver exactly where to go next. Okay, so following the root server's directions, our resolver now knows precisely where to go next. It's heading to a more specialized directory, just one level down the hierarchy. And this next stop is the top-level domain server, or TLD server. These guys are organized by the domain ending. So you've got one for .com, another for .org, and so on. Since we're trying to find yahoo.com, our resolver got sent straight to the .com TLD server. And you guessed it, just like the root server, this TLD server doesn't have the final IP address either. It's another directory, just a more specific one. It handles all the .com domains, and its job is to give out one last absolutely crucial piece of info, the address of the one server that is the final authority for yahoo.com. So here we are, at the climax of the quest. After getting directions from both the root and the TLD servers, our resolver has finally arrived. It's at its destination, ready to get the answer it's been hunting for. This final stop is called the Authoritative Name Server. And just like the name says, it is the single source of truth for that specific domain. This is the server that's responsible for knowing everything there is to know about yahoo.com, and most importantly, it holds the prize, the actual IP address. So the Authoritative Name Server gets the request, and boom, it sends back the definitive answer. The IP address for yahoo.com has been found. The quest is officially over. All right, so finally, the resolver sends that IP address all the way back to your browser. Now that it's armed with the correct number, your computer can connect directly to Yahoo's server, and just like that, the web page loads right on your screen. So you might be wondering, why go through all these steps? Why this whole complicated dance? I know it seems complex, but this entire system, this whole hierarchy, it's designed for one main reason: to make the web smarter. And believe it or not, incredibly fast. You see, the real secret that makes this whole thing feel instantaneous is something called caching. The system is literally designed to remember the answers so it doesn't have to go on that big journey every single time. The very first time you visit a new site, your resolver has to make that full multi-step journey. But, and this is the really clever part, once it finds the answer, it stores it. It caches that IP address. So the next time you ask for yahoo.com, it can just skip the whole trip and give you the answer instantly. So in the end, DNS is just this brilliant, layered, and super efficient system that's always working behind the scenes. This invisible dance of requests and responses, that's the real magic. It's what translates our human-friendly web into the language of computers, and it's what makes the entire internet feel so seamless and so instant. Kind of makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, DNS is just one of these complex, hidden systems that we rely on every single day without even giving it a second thought. And that leaves us with one final question to chew on. What other invisible systems are out there powering your daily life?